So Carti is gearing up to drop one of the biggest albums of the new year, and to commemorate that, I think it's finally time to discuss the singles he dropped. I know I was absent from New Music Fridays. If you're a real fan around here, you watch the New Music Friday segments where we go through the new singles and parts of albums every single week. But that's because Carti has really been the only excitement around, besides the scrapped Vultures hype and now scrapped. I mean, it used to be fun in the beginning, it used to be all hype, and we were actually getting an album on January 12th. But that's next week, and there's no signs of that coming out. And some teasing from Metro Boomin for a new project with Future or even JID that he's working on. So let's just talk about his four singles and how I feel. I think we have a good enough sample size as to what the album can sound like. Now, obviously, he can shock us all and go in a completely different direction, and I would not be opposed to that because it's Playboi Carti. He's one of the most polarizing artists in the rap game. He can do whatever he wants, and people will still like it. People will still find a connection, and his cold fan base will shut it down. So, yeah, let's get into these four songs. So the first song is titled Different Day, You're the Moon, whatever you want to call it. It was released on December 8th, which is when Carti really got serious about this rollout. This is when he was like, okay, I need to start putting stuff out because I'm about to drop an album. And I don't know how often he's really done this whole promotional singles thing. For Whole Lotta Red, we had like meh, but for this one, it's crazy this time. He's stacking up tracks. He's actually getting ready to drop a fifth one, which he previewed on Instagram, which was really cool. But yeah, this is his first solo track in 3 years since Whole Lotta Red, so this is possibly the most important because this is what Playboi Carti came back to the music industry with. This is the subject matter he came back with. So yeah, DJ Swamp Izzo has been huge in this rollout. He's been one of the bigger parts of the rollout, and he was narrating the later version on this track that he posted on Instagram himself. So yeah, DJ Swamp Izzo. I have to re-record this, so I'm gonna sound like a broken record to everyone in my room. But yeah, he's pretty much the DJ Academics. Like what DJ Academics was for Whole Lotta Red is what DJ Swamp Izzo is doing for this album, I think. The beat is super sick. That's probably the only good thing I have to say about this record. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a huge fan of it. It's cool, new music from Carti is nice. It's something we've been in a drought with for 3 years now, so it's great. It's a little different. Carti's going in a different direction. He always goes in directions you would never expect from him, which is why he is probably one of the most polarizing and one of the most iconic rappers of the last decade. I mean, he just keeps shocking the world with what he does. But it's really good for the music world because, let's be honest, it has been super boring the last year. We've had the Drake hype, we've had the Travis Scott hype, we've had the Uzi hype, we've had a lot of hype around some things. We've had good moments last year, but it doesn't compare to like 2020 when we saw a Whole Lotta Red, and when like then the year after when like Tyler the Creator dropped and we had Donda, we had all these albums. It doesn't really compare to that. It's probably my least favorite though, this track, but it definitely has its moments. It's definitely something I can appreciate, so yeah, let's move on. Because less than a week later, he dropped 2024 on YouTube. You gotta think, it has been less than a month and Carti has dropped 4 tracks. I don't think that has ever happened outside of him dropping an album in one day, obviously. But yeah, he dropped a 2024 music video on YouTube, and I kind of have this theory that the music videos on YouTube are going to be the singles for the album. These are the ones that we should take seriously and take into account. So yeah, really, I have an X on my thing. It's my sister's volleyball tournament, sorry, but yeah, this is probably the most recognizable, the most popular of the 4. This is the most commercial. This is the one that people are going to go back to and say, hey, this was a great song. This was a good moment for him. He carries that high-pitched voice throughout the rollout, and he does it a little bit on this track. Obviously, Carti is famous for the baby voice. That's like one of the most iconic things of like the last decade of rap music, like honestly. So on that second half, though, he has that grimy, dark voice we heard on his feature off of Utopia with Fiend with Travis Scott, obviously. And him having that feature for Travis Scott kind of introduced us to this new world of Carti. We've never really heard this voice. It's like a Future-esque. It's like, yeah, he sounds like Future, like literally. So Black Hane, or the hype bald guy, whatever you want to call him, and Opium would announce this track as well as later tracks down the line. Like a couple of the other tracks I'm about to mention here, he announces them. And that's a super iconic part of the rollout so far. It's one of the most memorable parts, and it's something that people are talking about a lot, and I think it's really funny. So yeah, iconic production from the likes of the legendary Kanye West, one of the best producers ever. and Earl on the beat, who has worked with Yachty quite frequently, so I think that's really cool to see him get his hands in it. You definitely see the kind of inspiration from both artists, with the chopped up soul samples being Kanye West, and maybe the drum pattern being more of like an Earl on the beat direction. So it's really sick. So shout out to Carti, super iconic chorus. I just really like this track a lot. The next track, the third track, is Hood by Air, which is named after a brand he has frequently been seen wearing. You know, he's been on stage, he's been to different concerts with like other opium artists wearing it. It's a super iconic brand for him, obviously, and he's obviously like put it on the map and stuff. I'm not sure the background of this brand. I don't know who made it. I'm not a fashion guy, but yeah, that's why the song's called Hood by Air. So this track was dropped another week later and was again announced by Blackhane, but this time it was dropped on the Opium label's Instagram. So again, this is another one of those tracks that was dropped on Instagram, like Year of the Moon / Different Day. And this is one of those tracks that I think, hey, this is probably just an experiment. He has the Opium crew all together for this one, which I think makes it super iconic. But like, I don't know if it's going to be on the album. I don't know. By the way, none of this is on streaming platforms. You can't go on Apple Music. You can't go on Spotify, Tidal, SoundCloud, whatever you use, Amazon Music. So yeah, that's kind of a weird thing with this rollout as well, is he hasn't decided to drop anything on his actual music profile. So maybe none of these are singles, and maybe he's just trying different social media platforms to gauge an audience and to see what people like. So yeah, he goes full dark voice here, and this is one of my favorite beats of the rollout so far. Like the little screechy noise in the background is so grimacing and so dark, and it really adds to that opium sound that we've heard the last couple of years. And it's actually crazy because this is going to be Carti's first album since the explosion of artists like Ken Carson and Destroy Lonely. Like that's gonna be crazy to see, you know, like is he gonna have them on it? I don't know, is he going to discuss it? It definitely makes for an interesting thing. This was quite the hiatus he took from music. Yeah, he goes in on the critics on here. I feel like that's really what this track is about. He also revealed the birth of his second son, Eves, and thus serves as a track for personal growth for him, kind of a canvas to put out his life on there. And it's really cool to finally like reveal that as a father and show everyone that he's a good father or something, even though Iggy Azalea had something to say about this. So the video features the Opium Posse in full effect, making an appearance in the video. It's a super sick track, iconic, it's amazing. I think he went like 3 for 4 here. I don't like the first track, but we will get into the next one and the last one, which as of now, last but definitely not least, is Backrooms. This was a super good track. I love this. This is my favorite. I don't have a lot of recency bias. I don't want people to say I have recency bias, but it is such a catchy track, dude. It really is. Like the melodies, the hook, the rapping, the flows, the cadences. It is amazing. I really like this song. It's the only track with a feature, and who better than to run it back with Travis Scott, who absolutely killed his verse. One of the best rap features I've heard in a little while. I mean, obviously, again, rap music has been super dead over the years, but man, Travis Scott went in here, and he shows here why he is one of the carriers of rap, one of the biggest figures, because Utopia trumped anything that came out of the rap industry last year, and he shows that. So yeah, this features dark trap beats and basic melodies, which seems to be kind of the direction of his new album music, which I really, really like. Whatever you want to call it, music, I am music, but it seems like that's kind of what he's going for with this album, is like super dark beats with like super simple melodies. Just catchy, just accessible music, you know, I like that. You know, Cardo gives us an insane beat here, love it, one of my favorites. This and Hood by Air are very true to the sound. I'm super here for it. Those seem like the two tracks that seem to get the most attention, maybe. I don't know. People are very polarized by this track. It's definitely grown on me a lot. I honestly didn't like it at first, but now that I've listened to it a couple of times, I think it's quite good. I think Carti definitely has something here. So, yeah. All in all, man, I'm just really excited for music. The album music. I'm excited for new music in general this year. It's going to be great. Carti's going to steal the show, though, especially with this Antagonist tour going on after he releases it. Who knows if and when we will get it, but there's a lot of hype and all eyes are on Carti. Carti has to make a statement here for rap. He has to drop the Utopia of 2024. Like, he just has to. I don't think there's any other rap album that holds as much weight, or Rollout or whatever, that holds as much weight as this. This is super important. This is monumental. And I'm not dick writing. Like, I genuinely think that everyone is talking about this. You go on the music pages on YouTube, everyone is discussing this. Who isn't, you know? And I had to make a video myself, not because I just want views, but like, I want to talk about it. It's super important. I'm a music critic. It's super important for me. But there's also plenty of snippets like this one.
Disrespect the 5, I put your ass in the food chain. Bitch, calling my phone, she say Miss Jackson going through her brain. We was just outside dancing, moving up Miley, feeling the same. He's coming. Fuck the bitch so
and a whole lot of All Red, which I hope make the album. We're also getting another single, so if you guys want me to cover that, let me know. Yeah, I don't really have much to say. I'm super excited for this album. Let me know if you are. I don't know if it is dropping necessarily soon, but I would assume 5 singles in, at least promotional singles. We don't even know if they're going to be on the album. I'd assume that he's dropping an album at least by the end of next month. Probably this month, honestly. The end of this month. That sounds right. So leave a like, comment, subscribe, GZTV. Click the noti bell. Any big releases that come out this year, you know I'm covering on the channel. It is bound to happen. So yeah, I'm gonna get this edited, put it together quickly in like an hour because I gotta go to bed for class tomorrow. Hopefully you guys like the new studio. If you've been around a little while, it looks really good. I think it looks really good. So yeah, have a good rest of your day, guys. Night, whatever.